It's a beautiful night in Provo, Utah, on the campus of BYU. Still a virtual Cougar walk in place tonight, but they will have fans in the stands for the first time all year as the Bobcats of Texas State travel on the road to take on number 12 BYU and their junior quarterback Zach Wilson. And that outstanding BYU offense, Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Bonatoni. Happy to welcome you to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Geico from Lavelle Edwards Stadium in Provo. And Rod, Zach Wilson, what a year this kid's having.
Yeah, and he has pretty much every tool in the box when it comes to throwing the ball. Strong arm from the hash to the end zone. He can drop it in with touch. And then when you want to see him do it from different angles, a little sidearm there. And then still a little something from the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, a little underhand thing there. He is leading the country in completion percentage, the most accurate quarterback in the country right now. And a whole lot of folks want to see him in action. And Heisman voters, I'm one of those. And also, a lot of NFL scouts have been paying a lot more close attention to him lately.
Zach Wilson's got college football folks talking, and he and the BYU Cougars, I think, have done that as a group. There have been lots of things that have gone well for BYU, a year that has been so topsy-turvy for them, having to remake virtually their entire schedule. So Texas State comes to Provo. BYU did win the toss. They defer. So Jake Oldroyd, who's got a huge leg, will boom one through the end zone for a touchback, and the Texas State Bobcats offense will come on the field for the first time. And we get to see the sophomore transfer from the University of Memphis, Brady McBride.
Yeah, a lot of folks refer to him as kind of a little Johnny Manziel. The way he moves around outside of the pocket, throws on the run, he can be pretty exciting. And in the last couple of games, he's tried to pick his spots a little bit better. Similar in size to Manziel, not quite as tall, but he is certainly an athletic quarterback who scares you when he gets outside of the pocket.
And part of the reason, as McBride sort of steps forward and makes a nice delivery on target to Calvin Hill out of the backfield for a good gain on the first play from scrimmage for Texas State. Of course, Johnny Manziel's college coach, quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, Jake Spavital, is now the head coach at Texas State. So that's another reason to make the comparison between the two. And we welcome those of you who are joining us from Baton Rouge. LSU puts the finishing touches on an impressive performance to beat up on South Carolina. Texas State on the road to take on number 12 BYU. The Cougars have been fantastic in 5 wins so far in 2020. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Bonatoni. It's a beautiful night in Provo. The Bobcats took the opening kickoff and are on the move. Couple nice offensive plays and another good pass from their sophomore quarterback, Brady McBride, for a Texas State first down. That's Drew Jackson with the catch.
Yeah, and Texas State pulling out all the stops. Some pretty unique, crazy formations here, moving some of their linemen out and forcing BYU to think and adjust.
This would count as one of those strange formations, and out of it, they run the ball straight ahead. So I think we're going to see a lot of that from Jake Spavital and his Bobcats tonight. Calvin Hill with the 5-yard run.
Yeah, only a couple of linemen inside, and then they move a couple guys outside, and BYU's thinking, hey, who do we line up against? Where do we go? And so that caught them off guard a little bit, and you see Texas State moving the ball.
Texas State's got that 1-5 record. Don't let that fool you. Like, Texas State's not a powerhouse. They're a rebuilding program. But they have played much better than that 1-5 record would indicate. McBride slings one out left side with some blockers out in front. Nice gain. Marcel Barbie, who's one of the talented wide receivers. Another Bobcats first down.
Yeah, and all this stuff that Texas State is doing, this is not anything BYU has seen or prepared for. They won't get a chance to really kind of adjust to it until they get to the sideline and draw it up and say, okay, you go here, you go here. Right now, they're just trying to use their base principles to line up.
They're doing it again with that 3 offensive lineman style formation with the other 2 split out wide left. That's Brock Sturgis, the Arizona State transfer at running back, who gets his first carry on first down.
Yeah, you know, and the other thing, Flem, they're going with tempo with this. They're going fast, so there's not time for BYU to look over to the sideline and get instructions as to what the coaches want them to do.
I mean, that's just sort of fascinating to see. They got a tight end the formation. They'll pitch it here coming from left to right to Jamarie Shareed, but there is a penalty flag thrown.
Holding, number 71. Offense, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Still second down.
Flem, you occasionally see teams throw formations like this out there, but it's usually in connection with a 2-point conversion or something like that. It's a one-off. It's not, 4 plays, 5 plays in a row.
Jake Spavital's running the whole drive like this. Now a little more traditional on 2nd and 17 after a very significant penalty. McBride in the shotgun is going to dump it to Calvin Hill, who could not make those 2 defenders miss. Well defended by BYU. Short gain. It'll be 3rd and long.
Situation for the BYU defense, which likes to really only rush 3 primarily, but sometimes when they're backed up like this, they may go after McBride, who's very good at getting out of the pocket. And you may see BYU here go from 3 pass rushers to 4.
First time all year in Provo with fans in the stands. Not many of them, but there are people there. McBride on the move. Those are those legs. That speed throws across his body. What a pass for the touchdown, Marcel Barbie. My goodness.
Well, and that's the Johnny Manziel aspect of him, his ability to get outside and keep his eyes downfield. You're so concerned about him taking off and running. His receivers know where to go. Go find him. Now watch him. Look, he can throw back across his body. Look at this. That is a great throw. You do not coach people to throw back across the middle of the field, but the guys who can do it can get away with it. And there's your 6 for Barbie.
It's possible, Rod, that Drew Jackson actually tipped the ball, the receiver who was a little short of Barbie. I think the pass was intended for Marcel Barbie. What a play.
What a start for Texas State.
They are not your average 1-5 team. They've got some talent. Extra point is up and good. So who knows? Maybe tonight's not just going to be an easy one for the number 12 ranked BYU Cougars. Texas State and their sophomore quarterback, Brady McBride. The Bobcats have come to play. To Barbie in the end zone. First points of the game for Texas State. You're watching ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Geico. Tonight, late-night college football from Provo, Utah. And the 12th-ranked team of the country is going to have to play from behind. Impressive opening drive. Texas State moves it down the field and scores the first touchdown of the night. So the Bobcats have the 7-0 lead and will kick it deep to BYU. The Cougars' high-powered offense will have the ball for the first time, and that is going to be returnable for Caleb Christensen. Maybe should have just taken the touchback before BYU's offense comes on the field. Let's send it down to the field and say hi for the first time tonight to Stormy Bonatoni.
Thanks, Dave. Well, we've talked about just how well Zach Wilson has navigated this offense. Today, he'll have to do so without his starting center, James Empey, or his top deep threat receiver, Gunnar Romney. Both of them were injured against Houston and not quite ready to come back. So, in place of Empey today, you're going to see Tristan Hodge for his first game back since week 1, recovering from post-COVID-19 pneumonia complications. The team's really happy. Not only is he back to play football, but back in general. It's also his first time playing center in a college game. And then as far as filling Romney's position, look to Dax Milne, the junior wide receiver, to really get things going for them. Pass game coordinator Aaron Roderick said when Romney went down last week, they ran a number of plays with Milne that Romney practiced, but he hadn't, but he executed them to perfection, and he's had the reps this week, Dave.
All right, Stormy, thank you very much. A lot of info there. I do have to say, because Stormy got word right before the game started about Tristan playing center, it does look to me like Joe Tukuafu is at least starting the game at the center spot for BYU, as Wilson throws it for the first time, and a perfect delivery right there to the man that Stormy was talking about, Dax Milne, coming off his huge performance against Houston.
Yeah, but that quarterback, that was a beautiful ball. Did you see that line on that one? That is just something. There are a lot of folks watching him and his performance. Last year, he was just a guy. Not this year.
Wilson, that one is right there again for another completion to number 5, Dax Mill.
And it's effortless, too. I mean, he's got all the skills. We talked about some of it in the open, the strength of his arm. Eyes come off of the middle of the field, back out here. Look at that. Perfectly where the receiver can easily see it and catch it right at his face.
Yeah, so it can be hard to gauge because of the level of competition. But he is playing at such a high level. He finds his tight end, Isaac Rex, for the first time. Another BYU first down.
Well, he's a guy that's been getting it all done. We talk about his completion percentage. You know, look how high that is, 79%, best in the country. Look at the touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, only 1 pick this year. But, you know, he's a guy who just has it all, it seems. I mean, he's healthy for the first time. He's incredibly confident, and he's not afraid to take some shots with his arm.
So he's 3 for 3 right away, almost like an option style play. He does have the ability to run the ball. He's got 6 rushing touchdowns this year to go with his passing prowess, but that time just a short gain of a couple yards.
At some point, Flynn, we're going to see him stand on one hash and throw the ball clearly across the field, all the way to the opposite sideline. And not many guys can make that throw. He's one of those guys. Here he is on the hash. We might get it here.
Well, you have made the point that everybody in college football, and even at the next level, right now, they're talking about this guy, Zach Wilson. That's how well he's playing. Tyler Algier, who's a talented sophomore running back, carries it to set up 3rd and short.
Yeah, Wilson has forced a change with this offense. You know, they were trying to be just a ground and pound offense, but he's so talented, they've changed up a bit now.
They really have. You got to give them credit for doing it. That's a first down throw out to Braden Cosper, the sophomore wide receiver. So we'll see how BYU accounts for having no Gunnar Romney, who's had such a great year as a wide receiver.
Yeah, this is part of their quick game, just a stop route, easy chance to pick up a first down. And you're right, Gunnar Romney not being around takes away something from your deep game. But they don't need that right now. And they have Dax Mill. We'll see him get deep some tonight, too.
So BYU trying to answer. Wilson faked it, now keeps it. Running left side. Wilson lowers his shoulder. I don't know about that decision. Instead of going into a slide, he is a tough kid. He's not the biggest quarterback. Took a hit and got close to the first down.
Yeah, he's listed at 6'3", about 210. He's probably closer to 200 pounds and maybe 6'2 and a half or so. But he is a guy, over the years, he likes to run, and he's confident he can get by guys or run them over instead of taking the slide. He's going to be convinced eventually that he needs to slide more.
He did get the first down. They gave him a good spot. It's 1st and goal. Katoa next to him, but he's going to throw, and he will dump it short. That is a nice open field tackle after the catch by the running back, Lopini Katoa. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Down here in this low red zone, as you see this good open field tackle. What a great job that is by Morris. Not a big guy, not a big corner, but he knows how to get up there and make tackles. He's been, he's been a strong player for this defense all season.
Jaron Morris, the defensive coordinator, Zach Spavital, the older brother of the head coach, Jake, told us maybe the toughest player he's ever coached. Katoa straight ahead, flag thrown, powerful run to the goal line and in. We'll see if the play stands.
Offside, number 8. Defense lined up into the neutral zone. That penalty is declined. Touchdown, BYU.
So we have our answer, and BYU has its answer. That touchdown stands, and the Cougars are an extra point away from tying this game up.
How about that run by Katoa? You want to get in front of me on the goal line? Think twice about that. He just ran over the guy sitting in the hole there. You get that number? What's the license plate?
Extra point up and good. 10 plays, 86 yards, and BYU, the 12th ranked team in the country, with their quarterback leading the way down the field to tie the game from Provo, Utah. Some late night college football. BYU and Texas State 7-7.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance.
Some of the more famous alums from Texas State: Paul Goldschmidt, great baseball player; George Strait, one of the all-time great country artists; and then, of course, the 36th president of the United States, Lyndon B. Johnson. Jake Spavital trying to make a name for himself.
What was it named
Go ahead,
before
Rod.
it was Texas State?
Southwest Texas State was the previous name, but there have been several iterations, and Southwest Texas State Teachers College was what the university was called when LBJ graduated from there back in 1930. How about we get to our game plan? Tonight's Bear Paint game plan. Rod, what do you got?
Well, it's a Zach Wilson show, you know. We got to see what he's doing. And they have this offense. They needed a name for it because they do so many different things. They gave it the reliable, violent offense, meaning that they will be aggressive in the run game and they will be aggressive in the pass game, trying to get the ball down the field. And for Texas State, yeah, play a little keep away. Stay on the field, keep Zach Wilson on the sideline, and use the speed of your wide receivers. That's where you have a bit of an advantage.
No RPO for BYU, RVO. Play fake, McBride swings it out left side, and that is caught by Drew Jackson. Texas State, very impressive the first time they had the ball, with all kinds of different formations, unusual formations, and a heck of a play at the end of the drive by number 2.
Well, here they go with the unusual formation. Now, I would have assumed that Texas State would move on to something else because BYU's had time to work on this on the sideline.
Jamil Jeter in the backfield for the first time. McBride rolling right is going to throw another one across his body, and that one is caught, they say, along the sideline. Jeremiah Haydell.
First down.
What
State.
A dart. Not many guys can make throws this accurate on the move. Look, he's going almost full speed, and you see the way he just zeroed in on that, just really threw a dart. That is fantastic. And you see left foot looks like it's, from this angle, in bounds.
I thought so. Haydell, who's made some of the more spectacular plays of this college football season. Another good play there. Handoff on first down. And the run. So over the left side by Jamil Jeter, the Oklahoma State transfer. It's second down.
They have a rotation of 3 backs that we'll see tonight, Flem, and all of them in their own right are really, really good.
Texas State has skilled players. I mean, they've got a quarterback they like who's raw, young, but is very skilled. They've got a good stable of running backs, and they've got good wide receivers. Second and 6. Handoff. That's Jeter again. He's kind of the most powerful of their tailbacks. Stops short.
That last formation, 1 lineman to the left, 1 to the right. As you take a look at the transfers that they have, guys from Arizona State, Oklahoma State, Washington State. It's a popular school. Guys who want to come and play in this offense. And for a lot of guys, it's coming back home. It's coming back home to Texas after they left after high school.
Right at midfield, 3rd and 3. Second drive of the night for Texas State. Tie game with the number 12 team in the country. McBride looked like a design run, but that was a disguise, and then he missed his man. Incomplete. It's 4th down. There is a penalty flag on the field.
Didn't you think he could have made that by running himself?
I did. I thought he could have. They're looking to the BYU sideline. That would tell me that they're asking BYU, do you want to accept this penalty, decline, and keep it 4th down?
Ineligible player downfield, number 71. Offense. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
All right, so here's our first decision for the head coach for Texas State. What'd he tell us, Rod? I got nothing to lose. My team, we've fought hard all year. We're a big underdog on the road, and I think he's going to punt.
Well, and you know, analytics would say that you go. Anytime it's 4th and 3 or less, analytics would say, you know, take your shot. Now, if you don't believe you can block people, you should punt.
So 4th and 3, and the punt coming. Fair catch just inside the 10, made by BYU. So the Cougars and their quarterback Zach Wilson will have the ball when we come back. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, great to have you with us on this Saturday night. BYU and Texas State. Look, Rod, BYU's been so impressive through 5 wins, but I think every chance they have to play in front of a big audience, important for them to keep on impressing.
That's right. They're trying to make a case for, at the very least, to be considered for the New Year's 6 games, and who knows, in this kind of a crazy year, they may actually be considered for the playoffs. It's going to take an awful lot for that to happen, but every week is a big test.
Handoff on first down. Nice gain for Lopini Katoa. And look, there's lots of, we'll talk about it throughout the broadcast, but for BYU, it's an uphill climb. Their schedule was a very strong one, totally upended by COVID and rescheduling and non-conference games being canceled from so many of their opponents. They're trying to piece together a schedule on the fly. But at this point, all they can do, play the games they can get, be as impressive as they can, and they have accomplished that thus far. Coming off, I would think, their best win of the year on the road at Houston. Nice move by Katoa to avoid the loss. Still, though, stopped short. It'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, that was Gavin Graham who got in there. And, you know, BYU has not been happy with their offensive line play and their rushing attack, and they feel like too much has been put on Wilson, and they'd like to balance that out. But when Gavin Graham comes flying across like that, it kind of destroys your confidence a little bit about going back after the run game right away, doesn't it?
It does. They haven't been quite as good in that area as they would like. From under center, Wilson play fake. He's going to throw it over the top. Nice delivery there for the catch and the run. Mason Wake, first down and more. The H-back tight end finally wrestled out of bounds. That was a well-delivered ball, I thought, from Wilson.
Great ball, gave him a chance to do something with it after he catches it. Now watch Mason Wake once he gets it. This is a guy known for hurdling. He's expanded his game to the stiff arm. Look at that. Uses a stiff arm to try to push away a would-be tackler in Tupou.
Mason Wake, interesting kid. One of the leaders on this BYU team, and a guy who really had not been very involved touching the ball in his career until this year. He's had lots of chances to make plays this season. Wilson's going to go deep, and his receiver falls down. Morris ends up intercepting the ball. Now, there is a penalty flag, and I think it's probably against Jaron Morris. I think he knows it. Wilson's hoping that's the case.
You see more and more of this these days. Quarterbacks know that there's a good chance that their guy will come up with it, or if they get tangled up, there'll be a pass interference call.
Well, there's definitely contact. Trying to get the ball to his outstanding receiver, Dax Milne. Well, they're still sorting this out. I don't know. Would that make you concerned if you're BYU that it's taking this long?
Yeah, because I think they're talking about it, and I think one of the officials saw it a little differently. That's why they're having the conference here as to whether there was any really illegal contact, or did they just get kind of tangled, or even was there some mutual combat there? Looks like he just fell down.
Yeah, I mean,
he just fell down. Now, the other issue here becomes where would you mark the ball, because it looked like, Morris had plenty of time to stop and turn and try to return that ball instead of going into the end zone with it.
Yeah, there is a lot going on that play.
Pass interference, number 0, defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic, first down.
Now, wouldn't you like to know how it took that long to just come up with, hey, that was pass interference on 0?
Yeah, I don't know that that's the right call. That, unless we're missing something that happened before that, because it looks like he stumbled and went down. But if there was some contact before that caused Milne to stumble, we couldn't see it.
A discussion for another time about where that ball would have been. You're given the 5-yard grace period with momentum to go into the end zone. Otherwise, you're not supposed to be allowed to go into the end zone. It could be that would have been a safety had there been no penalty on the play. But anyway, we move on. BYU runs the ball on first down and doesn't get much.
No, again, first down. rushing not being what BYU wants to have. And this week, they basically told their offensive linemen, hey, open trials. Nobody has a job.
They did sort of run it that way, which for a team that's undefeated and in the top 15 and putting up huge offensive numbers, a little fake option play, and now the swing out to Algier, who makes a nice catch and then breaks one tackle, gets shoved out of bounds short of the first down. Our Chick-fil-A impact players tonight on both sides of the ball, Rod.
Yeah, each team has some guys that they really have to have perform well for them tonight, besides your quarterbacks, obviously. Haydell, the wide receiver, who makes great plays. Barbie's already gotten up to a great start. We've seen Milne, and Tonga has to be disruptive for BYU defensively.
Huge presence in the middle of the D-line. That is a rare throw, a little off the mark from Zach Wilson, and it's 4th down. We'll see if BYU decides to go for it.
Yeah, I don't believe they have as much confidence in their rushing attack as they normally would. Or you have too much confidence in your receiver. That is the one rare time I've seen Wilson be completely off on a throw.
His
and here
first
are your
incompletion
analytics.
of the night.
4th and 3. Yeah.
They are going for it on 4th and 3. A little sprint left, and then the throw down the field. He's got his man open. Caught for a touchdown. What a nice play design. The redshirt freshman Keanu Hill with the touchdown catch.
You get everybody playing the sticks, thinking about first down throws and the like, and then just a little double move and go deep. Little fake pump there, and there he is all by himself, simply because you got folks thinking about playing the sticks to stop the first down.
So BYU goes for it on 4th down. It pays off, a 90-yard drive with that touchdown. The kick is up and good to make it 14-7 Cougars.
Let's go back and take a look at Hill and that route. Remember, this is a 4th down play, so you see Morris over there thinking about the sticks. Where are the sticks? And he just lets Hill run by him because he expects the ball to come out in order to get a first down. Not so. Safety over the top, sort of the same thing. Everybody's thinking first down throw, and Wilson crosses them up.
So BYU takes its first lead of the night, 14-7, still a minute 43 to go in quarter number 1. On this Saturday night, Provo, Utah. Next weekend, how about Halloween night in Beaver Stadium? Penn State coming off just an amazing, devastating loss today in their season opener. At the moment, still ranked in the top 10. They welcome in the Buckeyes, who did not have anything agonizing today. They look great. Ohio State, Penn State next Saturday, 7:30 Eastern on Halloween night, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. It'll stream live on the ESPN app.
Ohio State looked like one of the top 3 teams in the country with that performance today. And Penn State, man, they're going to be talking about the end of that game for the next few days, including the end of regulation, too, when
Correct.
Penn State had a chance to salt the game away.
Exactly. There were so many things going on in that one, and in the end, just a heartbreaker for the Nittany Lions. All might be forgotten if they turn around and beat Ohio State next weekend. We'll see. Touchback as BYU boots it through. So the Texas State offense will come back on the field.
If you're Penn State and if you don't upset Ohio State next week, you're not too crazy about this season.
Yeah, why are we playing anyway?
Right. You can't start 0-2 when you had designs on playing in a national championship game.
Brady McBride, who, like Zach Wilson, has been outstanding at the start. 7 of 8. Wilson's 8 of 9. The 2 quarterbacks have been on the money. Handoff, first down run. Brock Sturgis for a nice gain on first down. Let's go down to Stormy.
Well, guys, even despite that BYU touchdown, there was zero deflation from the Texas State offense as they got ready to take the field. And the message on the sideline was continue to lock in and execute. Offensive coordinator Jacob Peeler to the offensive players, specifically the wide receivers, said keep mixing up our looks, keep finding space, don't give up, and don't accept being covered. When they drop 8, find a way. And Marcel Barbie, who scored that opening touchdown, said if we stay disciplined, we'll get ours. Still a lot of energy from that group.
Sturgis with the run. It's 3rd and 3.
You know, Flem, if I'm Texas State, until BYU shows me they can stop me running with that weird formation, I'll keep running it. They've gone back to a normal set now.
Now whistles, and has McBride just kind of heaved it up there. Play was blown dead from the start. Maybe a false start.
False start, number 74. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Russell Baker, probably the best offensive lineman for Texas State. That's a mistake. That may be the 3rd penalty already against the Texas State offensive line.
Bad time for that. Makes this a tougher 3rd down.
Fans in the stands maybe having an impact for the first time in Provo. McBride on the move again. McBride will throw it across the body. Incomplete, knocked away. Intended for Haydell. 4th down.
You know, week 1, McBride was sort of all over the place. He felt better being outside of the pocket. The last couple of weeks we've watched him on film, and he was more of a pocket guy. I think it's interesting. You know, we were talking about how he's gotten some extra coaching, if you will, from Jake, and Jake's best friend, who happens to be an NFL coach, saying, hey, you got to go back to fundamentals.
Yes, Cliff Kingsbury has been watching Texas State. I mean, he and Jake are very close. They watch each other's games.
Operator, please reset the game clock to 23 seconds. It'll start on the snap. Thank you.
And literally, Cliff Kingsbury will give Jake Spavital and his team some feedback, and vice versa. It's a good resource to have.
Yeah, nice to have friends in high places.
Seamus O'Kelly, the punter, is going to boot this one after BYU forces the punt. No fair catch, cut upfield. Nice little move there out to the 40-yard line by Hobbs Nyberg. Well, speaking of Cliff Kingsbury, if you talk about the air raid coaching tree, I guess you would say Mike Leach sort of got it all started, although Art Briles had his own stuff. Cliff Kingsbury, who played for Leach at Texas Tech, has become a very successful coach himself. Sonny Dykes, Lincoln Riley, Dana Holgerson, and Jake Spavital very close with Coach Holgerson, who played BYU last week. I'm sure those two shared a lot of information about the BYU Cougars leading into this game.
You know, Mike Leach would say that Spavital and Holgerson are out of the club because they run the ball too much.
Yeah, the apples dropped off the tree. Sorry, you're not there anymore. Zach Wilson for the first down and a broken tackle. Nice, powerful moves by BYU. I think is that Hank Tuipulotu?
It is.
He has been banged up. He's had 2 different ACL surgeries. They said he was getting closer to being ready, and we might see him. And we saw him. That's got to feel good for him at the end of quarter number 1. BYU and Texas State on a Saturday night in Provo. Both quarterbacks playing well. BYU has a 14-7 lead.
Remember that National Vote Early Day is October 24th. For more information, visit IamAvoter.com.
Quarter number 2 from Provo, Utah. 5-0 BYU with a 14-7 lead and the ball. And a handoff on first down. Algier, the running back, around the right edge for a nice gain in the running game, which BYU has emphasized this week. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Bonatoni. 14-0 Texas State scored the first touchdown of this game.
Yeah, there's Milne, and he looks to be singled up with Morris. And remember, he got deep and had a pass interference call once.
It's a great matchup. 2 good players. Wilson, I don't know what that was supposed to be. Probably not that.
Yeah, a little option play. You know, they're not afraid to run Wilson. He came into the game with 100 carries. They will run him on a little zone read, a little freeze option. They'll quarterback draw with him. He is more athletic than people actually give him credit for being. he's a threat on a 3rd and 3 to use his legs.
Third and 3 inside the Texas State 35. Play fake. Wilson zings it in there. First down. That's Keanu Hill, who already has a touchdown catch. First down, BYU.
Yeah, you know, they're working on Morris, who is probably their best corner. But, you know, he's not the biggest guy, and you want to force smaller corners to tackle as much as possible. And this is a Texas State defense, particularly the secondary, that has been beat up. They finished last week's game with only 5 defensive backs. There you see Spears, over there on a corner. He's normally a safety.
They've moved a lot of players around in their secondary. They are so thin in the back end. Pitch back from Milne, and now a throw to Wilson, the quarterback, who makes a move, cutting it inside. Wow, what a neat play, BYU. Not quite first and goal, but a gain of 16.
You question my athletic ability? Use me as a wide receiver. Look at him get down the field, and a little change of direction once he makes the catch, juking the guy.
And a good throw by Neil Powell, who's a good wide receiver. He's got an arm. That's the kind of play, Rod, that could show up on a Heisman highlight reel.
Exactly.
Milne in motion, handoff Algier, nice cut to the end zone, touchdown.
Nothing wrong with taking Highway 69. Watch Tristan Hodge, number 69. Look at him bury his guy, pushing him completely to the right side. You actually could take the entire right side of the BYU line. Huge, dominated Texas State up front there.
I think they're happy to have Tristan Hodge back. A scary situation. Got COVID and got pneumonia to follow up on it, and had not played since week 1 until tonight. And clearly he's ready to go. He cleared the path for Tyler Algier. The BYU offense looks unstoppable. 21-7. They've got a second quarter lead. Thank you, Matt. Much different conditions in Provo, Utah tonight. Just a gorgeous. Temperatures dropping a little bit, getting chillier in Provo. 21-7 as BYU Saturday night football leading Texas State. From plan to play, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual. Rod?
Yeah, keep your eyes on 69 Tristan Hodge and 63 Tuku Afu. These 2 linemen do a great job smashing down the right side. Now watch, climb on up, get a linebacker, and it's really easy for Algier to get into the open, into the end zone. And I know that our buddy Merrill Hodge is somewhere really happy about his nephew Tristan with that block.
Great football family, and happy that Tristan's back on the field. That's great news. Handoff to Calvin Hill for Texas State. I mean, the Bobcats have done some nice things in this game offensively. They do not appear to be capable of stopping the high-powered BYU offense.
Well, and they haven't been able to stay on the field and keep Wilson off of it. One of the things they wanted to do coming in, as we talked about with him this week, is a little bit of keep away, controlling the game and making sure Wilson doesn't have as many opportunities.
They're going back to that different offensive line alignment. McBride's going deep downfield and incomplete. Man, he had a man. That was Travis Graham, who had a step or 2 or 3, but he couldn't connect. Let's go down to Stormy.
With 5 yards to go.
Well, you see Brady McBride chucking that ball down. Kalani Sitake came over to his defensive backs group and said, hey, that quarterback's playing with fire right now, the way he's throwing the ball. It's time to get some turnovers. And forcing turnovers, as you guys know, has been maybe the one area this BYU defense hasn't been able to find success. So we'll see if they can here tonight.
3rd and 5. Rolling left. That one is almost intercepted. There was nearly one. Fanua trying to come up with it and couldn't quite, so it's 4th down. Stormy was almost extremely prescient.
Well, you know, Flynn, we talk about the middle of the field being dark and full of terrors. There are lots of linebackers and safeties in there, and young quarterbacks in particular struggle throwing over the middle. And this is a young quarterback. You have to be careful because you don't see all that's in there that can hurt you.
I think Matt Corral is still hearing that from you after last week, Ole Miss and Arkansas. That was quite a performance by the Arkansas defense that you and I witnessed.
Yes, indeed.
Well, the punt for Texas State. BYU's offense will come back on the field. When we come back, BYU borrowing stuff from all over the football world. We'll tell you about that when we come back. Well, Andy Reid, who is a BYU alum, has remained very close. Hey, his cardboard cutout is in Lavelle Edwards Stadium. That's where they got it.
Andy Reid actually coached Jeff Grimes, the offensive coordinator for BYU.
Jeff Grimes doing a really good job. Wilson going deep. That one is incomplete. Some contact intended for Pau. No flag, 2nd and 10.
Grimes told us that he texted Andy Reid after they ran the play and said, I probably should have asked for permission.
And I think the gist of Andy's response was, nope, you're good. You can use whatever I got, you got.
Yeah, just do it right.
Andy Reid stays in close contact with the BYU program, has helped out a lot of folks over the years at BYU. Little jet sweep play with some speed. That was a burst. And a first down, BYU. That was Chris Jackson. Let's go down to Stormy.
Andy Reid's response actually was just, I'm just glad it worked. And Jeff Grimes said, you know what, honestly, we have no shame. We'll steal a play from anybody if we think it fits what we do. And it was actually kind of cool because apparently offensive line coach Eric Mateos brought a Chiefs play to the table last year. They called it Chiefs. It didn't work out. So I think he might be happier than anybody as a Kansas City fan himself, being from that area, that they had a play called Chiefs. It all worked out. And Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid both loved it.
Wilson throws. That one is caught in traffic for another BYU first down. Dax Milne.
That's a dart between a couple of defenders, a very small window, and a nice catch by Milne. A guy who, you know, when he arrived at BYU, he was a walk-on. Not much was expected of him, and he was going through an awful lot with his family, but man, he has turned it on and become a go-to guy for BYU.
Mom and Dad allowed to be at a game for the first time. Wilson kind of shoveled that one over the top, and it did get there. Katoa with a nice catch. They lose a couple yards.
I mentioned that Milne was going through an awful lot. As you take a look at this play, nice little flip, actually behind him, but what a nice recovery by Katoa. You know, but Milne, as a freshman, was a walk-on, and you know, was trying to make his way at the same time while his mother.
Offense, that penalty's declined. 2nd down.
While his mother, Flem, was going through cancer. And we're happy to say she's fine and doing well now, but at the time, his freshman year, he had an awful lot on his mind.
Yeah, Mom's doing so well that she's okay. I mean, she's wearing the mask and being careful, but okay to be at the game, watch her kid who has blossomed into a star. Great story. A little fake jet sweep, and the pass out to the left flat, caught for a positive gain to set up 3rd down. Well, Dax's mom, who, I mean, it was a fight for her, and Dax just can't say enough nice things about how she beat cancer. Team Jill.
That's
Pretty
very
cool.
tremendous, very cool.
And now everybody gets to tell her that, hey, they're talking about you on TV. Deservedly
That's a pretty cool mask that she has on, too. I like that.
So Dax's mom can reply to all those texts. We do have a player down on the field. So for the moment, we'll step aside and come back after this. To go, 2nd quarter, BYU with the ball, leading 21-7.
Big series here for Texas State to get a couple stops and trying to get right back in this.
Algier shuffles over to the side of Wilson, gets the handoff, big hole, first down BYU, and much more inside the 30.
Oh, what patience. The patience that time by Algier to wait for the block to open up and then hit that spot. Watch him wait, and then he just took off after that. Good patience. Let your linemen do their work.
Gain of 14, relatively quick tempo. Wilson throws across the middle. That's Pau with the catch. BYU first down.
6'4", 215. Pau is a big target on these digs, these in routes. Turns his number to the quarterback, and how about that? Right on the money again.
Handoff, 1st and 10, inside the 10. A lot of questions, Rod, coming into the year with the BYU receiving core. They lost some good players. They didn't have a lot of proven talent coming back. Pau played in 2018, missed all of 2019. He's been great. Gunnar Romney's been great. He's out tonight with a little bit of a hamstring problem, and maybe the star of them all this season has been number 5, the former walk-on, Dax Milne.
I agreed. He's played really, really well. BYU receivers have taken heat over the years. They haven't had a receiver drafted since 2009.
I think that was Austin Collie. Play fake with nobody there to fake it to. I don't know who that was fooling. Wilson will roll and throw it out of the end zone. Good catch.
Yeah, smart decision. Had nothing there. Come back and play the next down. Give yourself a chance. But, you know, I am shocked to find that they haven't had a receiver drafted since Austin Collie.
That's a long time, more than a decade. Yeah, a BYU program that historically has been known for slinging the football around, lots of pass throwers, lots of pass catchers. Maybe that drought's going to be broken this year. 3rd and 5, handoff and a first down inside the 5. Katoa straight ahead running.
That offensive line starting to dominate up front. Real nice job of not only just pushing that defensive line out, but actually getting up to the next level and getting on those linebackers.
They have been more
should
committed
there be
tonight.
anything other than pounding here? Now they bring in another couple of tight ends. This is just, we're just going to shove it down your throat right now.
Texas State tries to answer with their big boys up front, but I don't know. The size mismatch on both lines very much in favor of BYU. 11th play of the drive. Play fake. Wilson over the top and caught. Touchdown. Isaac Rex, the tight end.
How about that? You bring in a heavy package, extra tight ends, and you have a 6'6", 250-pound tight end who can get into the end zone, and you just throw it up for him. Look, fake the block, get on out there, and just put it up high. Let him get it. Let him go get it. Unfair when your corner is 5'8", facing a guy 6'6".
Extra point is up and good. The son of the BYU All-American Byron Rex. Isaac Rex looks like he's going to be a really good one.
Keep your eyes to the left side. You see 83. That's Rex just heading to the corner, and he is head and shoulders above Morris, and there's not much Morris can do about that. There's no way to get up that high for him for that ball, and you saw that Wilson put it up high intentionally. Let my guy go where his advantage is.
Well, BYU, they've had 4 drives in this first half. They've scored 4 touchdowns. There's still 7:47 to go until halftime. They were 3 for 3 on 3rd down on that drive. They ran the ball. They passed the ball. Texas State cannot stop Zach Wilson and his BYU offense.
I got him at 15 of 18 with a good headband on as well.
Yeah, the 3 incompletions, Zach. Come on, what's going on?
Yeah. Any Jimmy Mack with him with the headband?
Next time we chat with him, because that's clearly the other famous BYU quarterback who wore the headband. We'll have to ask if somehow Jim McMahon was the inspiration for the Zach Wilson headband. He wears it well, Zach does. speaking of, okay, we won't limit it just to BYU quarterbacks. Do you have a vote? The best of the, I mean, Zach Wilson, that's pretty rarefied company. We're sort of shoving Zach in there. Zach, go win the Heisman, and then you can hang with the rest of those guys. Jim McMahon, an all-time great among many. BYU's got such a great tradition at quarterback.
It is quite a list of quarterbacks.
I still go Andre Agassi. 1st and 10. That one is right along the sideline and incomplete.
I think you go Agassi because of the hair, not the headband.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if it's just the headband,
yeah,
if it's just the headband, it might have been Mr. Tough from Oklahoma.
The Boz.
I mean, I think the Boz, that look with the headband is the toughest looking one.
Little screen pass, very well defended by BYU. There's a penalty flag. Maybe a face mask was grabbed there, maybe.
Personal foul. Face mask, number 16. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
First penalty against BYU.
Yeah, very clear. Well done to catch that, Max Tooley. Max Tooley actually made the tackle. He didn't pull the face mask. That was Maxwell who did that.
Any part of that opening to the helmet, the face mask itself, anything inside any of those helmet openings, and that qualifies as a face mask.
We have yet to see Texas State use the speed of their receivers. Now, BYU is playing a lot of the 3 deep drop 8, making it hard for them to get behind the defensive backs.
Yeah, they need to find a way to get it in the hands of their receivers. That play was blown up. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Well, kick off your Week 7 NFL Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. A countdown crew on ESPN, the ESPN app. All the early breaking stories, injury updates, previews of every game right up to kickoff. That Sunday countdown tomorrow.
You can see how deep those safeties are playing for BYU here.
Yeah, you made that point a lot, and it's a good one about the way that BYU likes to play defense. They make it hard on quarterbacks. McBride finally gets a completion. He'd had 6 straight incompletes, but for a very short gain.
Tackled by Isaiah Heron, number 11. And that's the thing. Come up and rally to the football, make tackles, keep everything in front. Make the quarterback be patient. Make him take the underneath throw.
Showing a little pressure, but I don't know that that guarantees they're actually going to bring it on 3rd and 7. Hot start for Brady McBride, but he's been cooled off. A little pressure is coming. McBride on the retreat. He flings that one incomplete.
A lot of pressure created by Zach Daw, 99, off the edge, who's having a great season. Look at that. Goes inside and still has enough speed to really, really pressure McBride.
Holding, number 11. Defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
Nobody knew. The players, the punt team was out, the special team, and nobody knew that flag had been thrown, I don't believe.
Yeah, nobody saw it, yeah.
So McBride gets to stay on the field. Second penalty of the drive against BYU.
Yeah, this is the most extended amount of time Texas State has had on the field.
Isn't it amazing? They went right down the field their first drive, scored the first 7 points of the game. Since then, BYU has just dominated. Gain of 2 on first down.
That was Sturgis with the ball. Tremendous young man, transferred from Arizona State. And Flynn, I don't know of many college players that we've talked to who said, hey, I wasn't very mature at my first stop. It was on me, and I had to grow up.
Yeah, I think maybe the way he put it, he talked a lot about his time at ASU, was I did not live up to my end of the bargain. And so basically mutual parting of ways. He found his way to junior college, was an All-American. Another flag thrown on that incompletion. Was a junior college All-American, and now in San Marcos with Texas State. Good player. BYU had not committed a penalty all game.
Ineligible player downfield, number 73. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And that one's not on BYU. It's on Dalton Cooper.
Yeah, that tends to happen when you have a run-pass option play like they did on that last play. The linemen are trying to run the run part of it and block for the run, and sometimes they go a little bit far. You can only go 3 yards, and sometimes they aren't aware of it, and they wind up 4 or 5 yards.
Just across midfield, 2nd and 12, Bobcats. McBride, pressure came. He's been going backwards a lot, hadn't he? And just flings that one up. It was, I believe, picked off but out of bounds.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Did come up with the ball, but he was out.
Normally McBride is really good outside of the pocket, but BYU's been putting so much pressure on him that he really is not comfortable. I mean, he's on a full run, not looking and buying time. He's on a full sprint. So BYU's done a good job of really, really pushing him.
Yeah, he's not just going side to side, he's been going backwards. Third and 12. McBride in the pocket, will throw deep left side, nobody there.
I think that was a frustration throw. He's running around, he can't find guys, he's being pressured. He didn't have a guy open, and he just let it go.
Teaching moments for Jake Spavital with his quarterback, who is a transfer. He's been around college football for a few years now, but has not played much at all. He needs snaps, he needs reps.
That's an excellent point. People forget he's not played that much football.
This punt angled toward the sideline. Fair catch. BYU's defense comes up with another stop. Texas State doing some teaching, down 28-7. All right, Matt, we'll look forward to that. Still 5:15 until halftime here. Milne gets it, coming across the formation with a handoff, and a BYU first down on the first play of their 5th drive of the game. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns so far in the first half. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and you're going to get jet sweep and wide zone when you see BYU. They run both of those, and they run them well. It's sort of bread and butter for them. And then they give you everything else. They give you a little RPO, little NFL pro style, quarterback under center, a lot of pistol, a little bit of air raid.
Straight ahead run on 1st and 10.
And Flynn, they have so many different things they do. They just grouped it under the heading, gave it the name, Reliable Violent Offense, RVO, not RPO.
They do a lot of cool things, this BYU offense. For a team that if you watched them a couple years ago, I don't think you would describe them that way. They were not doing a lot of cool stuff. Sione Finau got that carry. He's gotten healthy and getting a chance to play in the first half. 2nd and 5. And the ball goes right through the hands of Wilson, who will fall on it, I think. Oh, Texas State thinks they got it, and they did.
Now remember, the regular center, James Empey, is out tonight. But that's the first bad snap we've seen with BYU. Tuku Afu is playing center, and that was his first bad snap over the head of Wilson. And it looked like Wilson had a chance to get on it at the very end there. But, man, the white shirts came about in a hurry, and he just couldn't hang on. That's Vincent, who was the first in there.
Yeah, he's just wrestled that ball away. So the turnover maybe has given Texas State a little life in this game. It's 1st and goal. McBride hands it off, and Jeter tackled from behind. Nice play. Max Tooley.
You know, Flynn, they haven't had a chance to get Haydel involved much, and this would be a great time and area for him to get involved. But look at this BYU defense, expecting the run, chasing it down from the backside. That's Tooley, Max Tooley, unblocked from the backside, making that play. But I'm thinking, where's number 3, Haydel?
Timeout, BYU. Maybe they couldn't find him
has
either.
Called their first charge timeout of the first half. 30 seconds in length.
Haydel is a dynamic receiver. We've seen him make some incredible catches.
He made the amazing catch in week 1. Then you and I saw him against UTSA with one of the great punt returns for a touchdown late in that game that you'll ever see. He's had a really nice sideline catch in this game. He's a good player.
Yeah, who did it better? I think the degree of difficulty is a little higher for Haydel because he's got a guy on him, you know?
Every catch like that nowadays gets compared to OBJ, but that was an actual OBJ-style catch. That was a really good one. So we'll see if Texas State can find a way to get on the ball. 2nd and goal. McBride dumps it short. Jeter will get shoved out of bounds around the 5.
See the quick decision by McBride to get the ball out. He didn't hang on to it. He saw Jeter in the flat, checked down to him when he didn't have what he wanted downfield right away. This is 2-down territory. Field goal's not going to do them a whole lot of good.
Yeah, I agree with you. The way BYU's offense is humming. 3rd and goal, McBride. That one is into traffic, incomplete.
He's looking at Jackson.
So they are going to keep the offense on the field. Why not? Go for it on 4th and goal. Under 3 minutes to go. BYU's defense, after the turnover, trying to stuff the Bobcats. 4th down. McBride looked left, now back right, extending the play, going backwards, sidearm style, incomplete.
What a stand by the BYU defense. That was Keenan Ellis over there on the corner, the left side, and they really just had a picket fence down there, handling guys, a little sidearm, and that move as he tried to get the ball to Haydel. Look at the play by Ellis, diving to get in there and to prevent that play from happening.
That was really
that's a great job.
That's an amazing throw. I don't know how you put that much zip on the ball at that arm angle, and you're right. It took a good play. Otherwise, that would have been an all-time highlight.
Yeah, that's a crazy, crazy good throw. But a little better play by Ellis.
Under center, Wilson handoff. A little stutter move, Algier on 1st down. BYU's got 2 timeouts. They've got 2.5 minutes. We'll see how aggressive they are from deep in their own territory, trying to put some points on the board before halftime.
You know, Flynn, I had no problem with Texas State going for the touchdown there. Normally, off a turnover, you want points to make the defense, to make the team that gave up the ball pay for it. But when you're down like this and you're undermanned, you got to take your shots when you can.
Another handoff. Algier got close. I think they spot him short. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Geico. Primetime and beyond. Saturday Night Football from Provo, Utah. 1:48 and counting in the first half. BYU is being real conservative here.
And their fans are going, we want more Wilson.
Yo, Kalani, what happened to the run and gun, sling it around, different formations, trick plays, handoff. That's a first down and more out to the 25. That was a good tackle. Otherwise, maybe even a bigger gain. And now maybe BYU will pick up the tempo a little bit. We'll see.
Well, there's got to be a certain amount of pressure on a head coach and an offensive coordinator when you have a guy who is good enough to be in the Heisman discussion. He's got to have, attempts. And you balance that pressure with trying to call the game the way you think you should call the game.
I do agree with that. Wilson, a lot of time to throw. Checks down to the tight end Rex. Upended. Under a minute to go. And a timeout asked for by BYU.
Timeout. BYU. This is their second charge of the half. 30 seconds in length. Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 1 minute. 1 minute, please.
Well, that was interesting. Being real conservative, running the ball, letting seconds tick off the clock. Then you get a 4-yard pass play, and then you call timeout.
Yeah, interesting. Well, it's as interesting as the whole story. Stormy's with us on the sideline. Where are you, Stormy?
Yeah, I'm down here, guys. And something that Kalani Sitake's told us about Zach Wilson is he really loves the way that he leads this team, that whenever there's that national attention coming his way, he always deflects it to his teammates. And during that last break, after having the mistake on the missed snap, he came over and walked up to every single one of those offensive linemen and guys on the offensive side of the ball and said, hey, guys, that was on me. I got to catch the ball. That was on me. And they all said, you know what? We got you. So that just shows that there is the trust there on both sides. And he made one mistake, but he's got them and they've got him.
Pretty good numbers again for the junior, just having a tremendous year. 2nd and 6 after the timeout, 1 remaining for BYU. Wilson trying to find somewhere to go with the football, will duck out of bounds to stop the clock. It's 3rd down.
Yeah, as Stormy mentioned, he's a complete team guy. And he's a guy that, surprisingly, in high school, got lots of offers out of state, Oregon State, Iowa, Cal, but Utah and BYU weren't that interested. I mean, BYU came in very, very late with an offer for him.
And clearly Zach wanted to stay close to home. He's from Draper, which is right about halfway between Salt Lake City and Provo, close by. Wilson throws, and he hits his man in stride. Powell into Texas State territory. A big gain, and they're going to hustle to the line of scrimmage. 45 seconds to go. The clock is stopped while they get things set.
Yards after the catch. Accuracy gives you that.
BYU gets lined up as fast as they can. Now 34. Wilson going deep. Wilson toward the end zone, and it is caught! Milne, touchdown! Take a bow.
Oh my goodness. You want to talk about arm strength? He comes all the way back to the other side of the field. Childress was back there thinking, I'm in good shape. He can't throw that ball this far.
Wow. Another great throw and catch. Dax Milne, who's blossomed into a star. Jill, yeah, you can cheer, Mom. Gets to see her kid play in person in his breakout year. Extra point up and good. It's 35-7.
And just take a look at where he is. He's on the right side of the field, over there by the hash mark, comes back across to almost the other sideline and throws a dart, number high. Numbers high right there. Look at this. Almost out towards the numbers to the other side of the field with a perfect throw for an easy catch by Dax Milne. And Childress is thinking, that ball's not coming back this way. He can't throw it this way. And Wilson's like, watch me. Yeah. Take that bow.
Mom keeps on clapping. The parents, this is the first game where any fans have been allowed at Lavelle Edwards Stadium this year, and the parents, I think, are at the top of the list of those who are thrilled to be there in person. Her kid's exhausted. He had a hard time getting lined up before that touchdown catch. He was way down the field, had to hustle back after the first down catch and run, get lined up, and then sprint back down the field. He needs a minute.
Yeah, that's right. You see the people here in their masks. There's been an increase in cases in Utah and in the county where BYU is. But interestingly enough, cases are down on the BYU campus and with the football team.
That ball gets by the return man and finally scooped up. It's going to be inside the 10. Everything going right for BYU with 24 seconds to go until halftime. Week 7 Monday Night Football matchup. Two of the NFL's best defenses. Yeah, Jim McMahon, he'll be watching. Bears-Rams. His Bears have one of the best. They're 5-1. The Rams are 4-2. It's a good game on Monday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Streaming on the app, ESPN Deportes from L.A.
I'm going to change my mind on that. McMahon with the headband that said Roselle, that was the best.
You're allowed to change. Handoff on what will probably be the final play of the first half. Texas State needs to regroup. It's easy to forget now. They went straight down the field after getting the ball at the start of the game. They scored the first 7 points.
That's right. And since then, nothing. The BYU defense has been comfortably sitting back in a deep zone and coming up making tackles, and they've shut them out since that first drive.
And BYU, Kalani Sitake, they are going to get the ball to start the second half. Dominant performance for those two, and the BYU offense 35-7. It's halftime. Let's send it to Matt and friends in studio. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Geico from Provo, Utah. As we start the second half, the Bobcats of Texas State scored the first 7. Since then, all BYU 35-7 the score. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore back with you. Rod, once again, we've seen them a bunch of times already this year. BYU and their quarterback just playing great.
Well, the challenge for both, are the same. Impress people who are going to have a say in whether you're a Heisman candidate or whether you're going to be in the top 10 or be in the New Year's Six. And BYU impressed in the first half in all facets. And, man, Wilson, what hasn't he shown us? 18 of 21, 3 incompletions, and 3 touchdown passes. Wow.
Just awesome. And some of the throws that he made were as good as it gets. I think we'll be seeing those again as we go along. BYU gets the ball to start the second half. Our King of the Moment brought to you by Burger King. Rod?
Yeah, that would be Wilson. You talk about a guy who's putting the ball on the money. You want arm strength, you get it. You get accuracy on every single throw. How about this one here? Knows he's got a tall receiver. And this one at near the end of the first half, from near the numbers on the opposite side of the field to the goal line. Terrific throw. Unbelievable throw. Not a whole lot of guys can make that throw.
We're going to work on the Pythagorean theorem and see if we can't get a distance by using the dimensions of the field for how long he threw that ball, how long it was in the air. It was he threw it
A
so
squared
long.
plus B squared equals C squared. Now watch him. He's almost at the numbers, and he does this back across the field. Now, the field is 53 1/3 yards wide, and you can measure where he threw. That's about a 50-yard throw or so. You can do the math on that one.
I think we can. Not me, of course, not right now, but we can. Miles Davis gets the carry. I do believe we'll start to see, Rod, the depth of this BYU team.
Yeah. You know, they may not take their foot off the gas pedal for a little bit here, because one of the things that is important, like it or not, is they have to impress. They have to impress the voters. They have to impress folks who are looking and questioning whether BYU should be a top 10, top 12 team. And dominating a soft schedule is expected.
3rd and 6. Wilson throws, and that one is caught by Dax Milne.
Wilson's pass.
And again, great placement.
I say caught. It was, in the end, it knocked away, so it's incomplete.
Knocked away. Yeah. But, you know, he throws his ball to the outside because there's coverage inside, and Milne couldn't get it. Now, too hot, too high. That's not on Milne. That's on Zach for not bringing that ball down a little bit.
Yeah, my bad. Not knocked away, just a little bit high and through the hands. Incomplete. The perils of not being there live in person sometimes. Every once in a while. Looks a little different than it would if we were standing there. But anyway, incomplete. It's 4th down. First punt for BYU. And a low snap. Lucky to get that punt off. There is a flag down. It was 4th and 7. Just keep that in the back of your mind, depending on what this penalty is.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Defense, number 27, 15-yard penalty, automatic, 1st down.
Wow, the personal foul penalty, so that gives BYU new life. They keep the ball.
You know, there was an argument there that he was blocked into the punter. Now watch what happens here. He's pushed. I think you could make a case that, you know, he was blocked into him.
Yeah, I don't know if that lives up to the standard of personal foul either, but
yeah.
Anyway. BYU ball. We get to watch Zach Wilson again. Hand off to Algier.
You know, Flem, there's just a mugging going on up front now with that offensive line. We've seen them do some things in the first half, open some huge holes, and, you know, they're just leaning on this defensive front. This is a big, experienced offensive line. A lot of seniors up there, a lot of guys who've been around the weight room a long time, and they are just wearing out this defensive front right now.
2nd and 2. Handoff for a BYU first down for those of you who might be flipping over after the World Series. Game 4 comes to an end. Late night college football from Provo, Utah. Dave Fleming, Rod Gilmore, Stormy Bonatoni. We can't promise an ending like the World Series game just had. This one probably is not going to be quite as tight at the end, but we're seeing something spectacular again with BYU and their offense. Zach Wilson has been great. BYU 35 on the board in the first half. Moving here to start the second half. Play fake. Wilson wants to go deep again. Show off that arm strength in the end zone, and it is incomplete.
Now, he was late on that one. He had Milne out there for quite a while, and he was late getting there. And this one gets a bounce right off his head. That's when you got to catch. But Wilson could have let that go a little bit sooner. Watch, look where this ball hits. Off the helmet of that looks like
Childress, maybe.
That was Childress, yeah. It was bounced off his head.
Hand off here, and Katoa inside the 40.
I think Wilson would tell you that on that last throw. A couple of beats sooner, he could have let that one go. But, you know, he's only had 4 incompletions tonight.
All right,
we're really
we'll cut him a little
nitpicking.
slack. Sure. Third and 4. Handoff. Straight ahead. First down, BYU.
question ultimately will be, in terms of a race for a New Year's Six game, how does BYU rate and stack up against Cincinnati? Cincinnati had a big game today. How do they stack up against Marshall, who's sitting in the top 20 as well? There are a number of teams that still have a shot to be the top group of 5 team, and BYU is right in the thick of that.
1st and 10, Wilson under center. Milne came in motion. Instead, they just handed off to Lopini Katoa. Gets to the 30.
BYU being an independent, technically, is not a group of 5. But when you
it
talk
does
to
complicate
folks,
things, you know, because the rules of the New Year's Six are supposed to reserve, and they do reserve for a conference champion from one of those group of 5 leagues, and obviously BYU doesn't fit into that. But I think the discussion still remains: is there room for BYU in one of those bowl games?
Well, the practical reality is you're not going to get an independent and a group of 5 leader.
Wilson shuffles and right to the goal line. It's caught. Yes. Touchdown, Isaac Rex.
Ruling on the field is a completed pass for a touchdown.
Great protection, plenty of time, and he can just survey the field and wait for Rex to come free. Plenty of time, sliding just a little bit, another beautiful throw.
Did he catch it?
Looks like, I think he caught it. I'm not sure that the ball ever touched the ground.
Yeah,
it looks
I don't
like
think it
went through hands to belly to legs, but not to anything green.
Oh, the thigh master catch for Isaac Rex. That was unique. But I'm with you. I don't think it touched the grass.
No. Not at all.
Previous play of a touchdown is under further review.
And I don't blame him for taking a look at that, because it is close and the ball definitely was moving.
Yeah, but he managed to keep it off the ground, at least from the first couple of looks we had. Yeah,
That's as
you know,
close
you
as
see
it
that
gets,
space. Yeah,
definitely.
it doesn't contact the ground.
Tumbled over, kept it squeezed there. Second touchdown catch of the night for Isaac Rex, I believe, will be upheld.
Yeah, you know, when that right.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands as called touchdown.
I might have confirmed it.
Yeah, I think I would have too. 444 yards for BYU of total offense. You got almost 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. Another long drive. That's their 5th drive of 70-plus yards. That was, I think, an offsides. Kick was up and good.
Offside, number 0. Defense, that penalty's declined. Extra point is good. Timeout on the field.
42 straight points for BYU. They lead 42-7. 7 points of this game since then. BYU's piled up more than 440 yards of offense, scored 42 points in a row. And the number 12 Cougars lead 42-7 over the Bobcats of Texas State. Texas State playing their 5th straight road game in this strange juggled season, and you do have to wonder at some point. Jake Spavital's team's been really competitive. They have played some good teams tough, even on the road, whether maybe this stretch of games and this particular opponent has them running on fumes a bit. Touchback, and let's go down on the field to Stormy.
Yeah, Dave, you hit that dead on. And BYU's a pretty dang good football team are the first words that came out of Jake Spavital's mouth when we talked at halftime. He said his message really for his group is just to keep fighting, stay competitive, don't give up. There can't be any finger pointing. You just have to go out there and work hard because there's a whole lot of game left. He also did say on offense that Brady McBride didn't get a whole lot of snaps, but he thought that he was playing well. They're really hoping that they can get him a little more help around him and get some offense moving.
All right, so we'll see. Maybe the ground game can help. Calvin Hill going backwards. And when you run into number 95, although he wasn't alone there, that's often what happens.
You should try not to run into him. You see that drive, the way they started, went right down the field with some unique formation. It's got a touchdown, and since then, not an awful lot. But Tonga, you don't want to run into him at 6'4", 320 pounds. Avoid him.
Big guy right in the middle of the BYU defensive line, lining up right over the center and the ball. McBride goes down the sideline, and a nice catch. Inbounds or no? No.
Yeah, I don't think Jackson got a foot down
there.
there.
Incomplete pass, third down.
Tremendous effort by Jackson, but he didn't make it. Let's take another look. Yeah, he's on that white with the white shoe. Left, it was the right leg. Watch it from this angle. Right leg. Yeah, he's out of bounds.
So it's third and 11 for Texas State.
This is a young team. There are 54 new players on Texas State. And most of them will be around for 3 seasons. So this is a young team that should get better and grow together.
Game. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
I mean, they've had some heartbreak this year with that young team, young roster. Could have easily beaten SMU. Right now, SMU is a top 20 team. Clearly a good team, talented team. Could have, maybe should have beaten SMU. Could have, maybe should have beaten Boston College on the road.
That's right. That's right.
Getting pounded tonight, though, by BYU. 3rd and 16. McBride standing in. Where can he go with the football? McBride heaves it and intercepted. Here come the Cougars. Kafusi inside the 10. Cuts back in. What a run. Touchdown.
Oh, my goodness. What a run. That is one that McBride would like to have back. He was looking at a defense that was playing too deep. They had a safety hanging out in the middle, and then another 5 guys underneath, and he had nobody open. He threw this up for grabs, threw it right to Kafusi, who just kept moving over toward the sideline to mirror him and just said, nobody's tackling me, just get off me. I love the run.
He stayed in bounds. I thought he was going to get knocked off balance and go out of bounds. Isaiah Kafusi, part of a family that has been such a huge part of BYU's football history. He's a good player, and that may be his all-time highlight play. Certainly one of them. He's got a nose for the football. He had 4 interceptions before this season. Now he's got a pick 6 for the Cougars, who lead 49-7.
Back to the pick 6 by Kafusi. Look what McBride was facing. 4 men rushing, 7 in coverage, 2 of them deep. Kafusi's got an underneath zone he's trying to cover, and watch as the play unfolds. He's going to just wall his man up. Now he's got eyes on the quarterback. Now look where McBride is looking. McBride sees the left side. He's looking deep, and he's got nothing open deep. He's got double coverage on the outside receivers to his right. There's double coverage to the receivers outside to the left. And now as he comes back to his right, Kafusi just slides on over to mirror him and is directly in the path of the throw. And then the rest of it is a great highlight film for him to pull out every year as an anniversary show for anybody who will watch it with him.
Isaiah Kafusi with the interception for the touchdown. 49-7 BYU. It is a family of football stars, and not just at BYU. but the Kaufusi family tree is spread very wide. Dad Jeff played at Utah. Steve, Rich, both great players for BYU. A couple of Isaiah's uncles, and there are more. Bronson, Corbin, two cousins who are big stars for the Cougars. His cousin Devin, who is a Utah defensive end. Isaiah, one of the leaders on this BYU defense, not on the field for this first down play for Texas State. Handing the ball off to Brock Sturgis, gain of a couple.
You know, after a run like that, he deserves to have a couple plays off to catch his breath. Don't you think?
I do. And I think BYU, they've done what they needed to do tonight. They've impressed everybody. There's still a long way to go in this game, but I would not blame Kalani Sitake at all for starting to play his second string players and maybe dip in a little even deeper.
Call the dogs off a little bit. Yeah, I hear you. Most coaches wait until the fourth quarter to do that.
Little pitch play to Shareed, who's got nice speed. Outside the 30, third and short coming up.
Well, he's got a highlight now that he can pull out, you know, for his family and say, who did it better? Who's got a better highlight? In all the Kaufusis who played at BYU, who has the best highlight?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Family of defensive players for the most part. Isaiah had the big week 1 game against Navy, which kind of put BYU on the map in a way. I mean, look, there weren't that many teams playing that week 1, and BYU, Navy, traditionally a very strong team year in, year out. Sturgis banged up a little bit on that carry.
You hate to see that. He's a young man. We talked about him earlier, you know, coming over from Arizona State via junior college. Very mature, has worked really hard to get himself in this position to be a vital part of this offense. And, you know, this just reminds me of Jaden Waddle today, seeing him go down for Alabama. Just sick about seeing one of the premier players in college football apparently break his ankle and will have surgery tomorrow. That's just awful.
Yeah, out for the rest of the year. We're truly one of the great players in college football. Sturgis at least is walking off. I mean, he was getting some help, now trying to walk off by himself. So that's a good sign. First down, Texas State. That's Jeter, a big guy showing a little burst, got close, 9-yard carry on first down.
He's the Oklahoma State transfer. He's the bigger back, guy they like to use in short yardage on the goal line. But he's a guy that's very powerful from Texas, San Antonio.
Just got cleared officially as eligible to play for Texas State right ahead of the Boston College game a couple weeks ago. This time Jeter swarmed in the backfield, lost yardage on that play. It's third down.
Yeah, Udo was right there. Left side of your screen, unblocked. He's the guy who's the quarterback is reading, and he never hesitated. He said, quarterback wants to keep the ball, I'm going to let him do it. I'm going after the running back.
Good decision. Texas State just 2 of 8 on third down. Looking for something positive after the way this game started. Jeter, no. Got nothing on third down and 3. It's fourth down. Troy Warner.
Probably going to go for it here, right? This is something that Spavital said, you know, has been an issue for them. You know, kicking and knowing where they are. He's trying to pick up everything he can.
Well, when you're down 49-7 against a team this good, might as well see if you can get it. Get some more snaps for your young quarterback. That's a priority for Texas State. They think Brady McBride's got a great chance to be good. The play clock is winding down. I think they're going to have to use a
they're not gonna
timeout.
make
They
that.
will. So Texas State will burn a timeout.
Timeout. Texas State, this is their first charge of the second half. 30 seconds in length.
Bobcats need to get organized. Well, a Waddle injury was certainly one of the big notes of the day, and our best to Jalen Waddle, and hopefully that surgery is successful and he's going to come back as healthy as can be. Justin Fields had the near perfect day. Ohio State was so good. And then you mentioned the game, Rod, Indiana over Penn State. Look at Fields' numbers, 20 for 21. First top 10 win in a long, long time for Tom Allen's team, and the sequence at the end of that game was just nuts, regulation and overtime.
Yeah, they had a chance. Penn State had a chance in regulation to run out the clock. Instead, they scored a touchdown, and that gave Indiana a shot, and they took advantage of it.
Ohio State, Penn State next week. Texas State, after using the timeouts, punting the ball. Well, I don't know why, but they are. Fair catch for BYU. It was their choice. They can do whatever they want. 49-7 BYU. Well, our next Soccer Sunday, depending on where you are, is later today. They call the rivalry, why not? It's in LA, El Tráfico. LAFC against LA Galaxy. I appreciate the sense of humor. 3:30 Eastern on ABC. Sunday, today, tomorrow, however you want to put it, on the app as well. We got some true late-night college football for you here tonight from Provo. The BYU Cougars taking it to the Texas State Bobcats. 49-7. No more Zach Wilson. Baylor Romney, whose brother did not play tonight. Gunnar Romney, one of the best skill players on offense for BYU. But Baylor gets in the game.
And for those who are curious, he's not the son of Mitt Romney. A distant relative, however.
And Baylor, they like Baylor. They think he's going to be a good quarterback. Just a sophomore. Zach puts on the green vest. Still has the eye black on. Romney's going to throw across the middle. That's the tight end, Isaac Rex. First down, BYU.
You know, Baylor played great last year when Zach Wilson was hurt. He was 2-0 as a starter, had a tremendous win over Boise State. Played well for them. And, you know, there were times last year when there was a real question as to who the starting quarterback was going to be for BYU in 2020. You know, Jaron Hall played as well. Baylor Romney played an awful lot. And then there was Wilson, and people weren't sure about his health and what it would be like in 2020. Well, he solved that one.
It's a good point. Yeah, the competition ended pretty quickly, I think. That one knocked down incomplete. Intended for Carter Wheat, second down. See, Rod, in the NFL, if it's 49-7 and you're the quarterback and you get to enjoy the rest of the game, you put the baseball cap on, you sit on the bench, you chat with your offensive lineman, whatever you do. If you're a college kid, you put the headset on and get to work, kid.
Right. Yeah, you're on scholarship. You're still working.
Second down, Baylor Romney will take off and get tackled around the 30.
Yeah, this is always the dilemma for a coach whose team is up by 42 points or something like this. You know, you don't want to rub it in and put more points on the board, but you want your players to get some real work. You want Romney to throw the ball, you know, against competition. You want to get it on film. You want to be able to evaluate him. But if he makes plays, you know, they're going to score again.
And I have no problem, it's still in the third quarter, if it's the second stringers who are getting some playing time, I have no problem using the full playbook, throwing the ball. Romney across the middle. They set that up nicely. And Katoa with a good cut almost to midfield. First down. That was well done by BYU.
Underrated as a receiver out of the backfield. Just a middle screen here. And you'll see he can change direction as well. Look at that nice little move there. Makes a couple guys get out of his way. But he's typically a hard-nosed runner, get up the field. You don't get to see him in space that often. But he can catch and he can give you a little shake in space.
He's played well tonight. Who hasn't for BYU? Play fake. Throwing it again on first down. Baylor Romney intercepted. Threw it into coverage and it was picked off. Texas State comes up with the turnover. Braden Stringer picked it off.
Good play by Stringer in the right place. You see him on the left side of your screen right there. Number 33, that's Stringer. And watch him as he makes his drop back into coverage and then gets his head around. Eyes on the quarterback. Eyes on the quarterback. He realizes he had a receiver coming in that direction and a great fingertip catch.
So Stringer comes up with the interception. Texas State gets the ball back. That's a backwards pass with blockers. A second throw forwards, incomplete.
That was the second quarterback.
Yeah.
That was Vitt.
That was Tyler Vitt who snuck into the formation. So that's why the throw looked so good.
Yeah, watch. Yeah, this is Tyler Vitt, the backup quarterback. Didn't have a chance to get his arm real loose, but still got it out there to Spates.
Maybe a little behind Spates, but he could have caught that. Second down. Screenplay, Calvin Hill along the sideline takes a pop right at midfield.
Calvin Hill's only 165, 168 pounds, but you'd never know it. He just lowers his shoulder like he's a big running back. He's one of the tougher guys on this team.
Good player, just a redshirt freshman. I bet by the time he's finished, he's going to be one of the best running backs in the Sun Belt. That may happen soon. 3rd and 5. McBride pressured, dumps it off. Great catch by Calvin Hill, but wrestled out of bounds. Stopped short.
We were just talking about his skill set. You know, he's a tough runner inside, but out of the backfield, he is a really good receiver. You saw his hands on this play, or his hand anyway, the one-handed grab here. But he is a good receiver out of the backfield. Only about 5'7", 168, 165. But as tough as they come.
Well, Texas State is telling you what they feel about this matchup and this game by the way they've handled these last couple 4th downs. They're just punting the ball, and basically I think they're just waiting till this game is over. Fair catch inside the 15.
They've been beat up. They've been beat up on being on the road. Short on defensive backs. It's been a rough road for Texas State lately.
And then you got to face this guy. We talked about this pass. Our folks helped us out in the truck in the studio. How long in the air did Zach Wilson throw this ball? We came up with 63.5 yards in the air. Just a tremendous throw.
And on the money. On the money. A 64-yard dart.
He
Jake
almost threw it like a dart. It was not just a heave, wind up, and put everything you have into it throw. He's got more in the tank than that.
Oh, absolutely.
Hand off Romney to Finau.
You know, Flem, of all the people we've talked to about Zach Wilson, Jake Spavital gushed about him as much as anybody. He said he's been around a lot of quarterbacks, and he said this guy we're facing Saturday night, he's going to be on Sundays real soon. And they had no one on their team who could duplicate him in practice.
Yeah, they did not. Nobody does. Sort of a modest statistical game by his standards. 287 yards, 4 touchdowns. Baylor Romney under center gives it on that jet sweep with a block out in front. And a good play out to the 35-yard line. Cody Epps, the true freshman.
Getting a chance. It's a first-team high school All-American. 93 catches and 1,700 yards his senior year to go along with 28 touchdowns. Good change of direction. He gives them a dimension in their receiving core that they don't have. A guy who, you know, can really change direction quickly, make people miss, get you some yards after the catch.
Final 30 seconds of the third quarter. BYU in control with Baylor Romney, the backup quarterback, in. Play fake. Pressure. Romney throws, and Epps came up with the catch. Good play by the freshman. That will be the final play of the third quarter. All BYU. They're still making their junior star quarterback work, even though he's officially out of the game, at least as a player. Zach Wilson and BYU so impressive again tonight, taking it to Texas State 49-7. Quarter number 4 from Provo, Utah, 49-7. All BYU. Texas State actually scored the first touchdown of this game. First game with fans in place. Not a whole lot of them, but there are fans at Lavelle Edwards Stadium. That play was defended well by the Bobcats. Zach Wilson, the star junior quarterback who has just been phenomenal this year in 6 games. Wearing the vest now, sitting out the rest of this one. Set up. It's going to be 3rd and long. Rod brought up how Jake Spavital was talking about Zach Wilson. Zach, who is the older brother of the head coach, the defensive coordinator at Texas State. Zach Spavital spent time on the Texas Tech staff, and he was talking to us about Zach Wilson, and he brought up the name. We talked about him already, Patrick Mahomes. I went up against that guy in practice, and I saw some of the same stuff with Mahomes that BYU is showing with Zach Wilson. That was pretty high praise.
Yeah, so he knows what he speaks of when he says this guy is pretty good.
You mentioned he's gotten healthy. The shoulder wasn't right last year. The performance just wasn't great, and he wasn't healthy. He's gotten healthy. He's put in a huge amount of work.
False start, number 76. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
See if we can get it down to Stormy real quick. Stormy?
Yeah, well, you guys just talk about the health of Zach Wilson. Something that pass game coordinator Aaron Roderick said was really underrated about Zach is that this was the first real offseason that he got to just be one of the guys. He was able to be in the weight room with his teammates. He was able to create better relationships with his offensive linemen and receivers and all those things that he wasn't able to do in years past because he was dealing with surgery or rehab and a bunch of different things. And it was funny. Actually, he was pulled aside at the end of last year by the coaching staff and said, we want this season to be more about connection than football. And Zach, of course, being Zach, made sure he did both because it's obviously been well chronicled, the story of him driving up and back 10 hours a weekend to go see John Beck. So he took it upon himself to do both.
If you needed any indication of the dedication of that guy, the drives that he made certainly would indicate to me how committed he is to being the best that he can be. 4th down, BYU is going to punt the ball back to Texas State. Good punt, bounces, and well, why was that fielded? Good grief. That was a mistake. I understand Jeremiah Haydell's just trying to make something happen. Good player, but that was not a great decision.
Look, Texas State is still playing hard, trying to make things happen. This is not a way to do it, though. But they have not given up on this game or given up on any play, despite the fact that BYU is wearing them out right now.
College football is watched, nachos, party packs bring the fun. Wherever the students are, the Live My Student section lives. Learn more at livemystudentsection.com.
49-7 BYU. Not great field position for the Bobcats of Texas State in the fourth quarter. Trying to make something positive happen before they head back to San Marcos. And Brock Sturgis, you give him points for toughness. He had to be helped off the field. He's trying to still play in this game. He's clearly limping.
Well, you know, you can't deny how hard Texas State is playing. I mean, these guys are happy to be playing.
Well, it's a rebuilding program. You look at the scoreboard, you think they got a lot of work to do, and they do, but I think they have made some progress. Sturgis, what a great run. Brock Sturgis on the bad wheel, gets all the way out to the 40-plus yard line and limps as he gets up. That was a great run for a guy who's not nearly 100%.
And what a tough guy. Yeah. Just a little inside zone play. You see him find that seam, and then he turns on the jets. You know, this is a guy running on a bad ankle. The score is out of hand, and he is fighting along with his teammates. I'm impressed with the energy and effort and the body language you're seeing from Texas State now.
11 minutes to go. McBride in the game. Hands it off. That's Calvin Hill bouncing it left side. Hill will get shoved out of bounds right across midfield. A gain of 10+.
This is one of those games, Flynn, that you use the film to reestablish your culture, what you want, that you play hard every play. When you do your film session, you look around, you go, who are the guys who are playing hard? Who's given up? Who's quit? Because we don't quit. And when you put this tape on and you see that guys are playing hard, even with the score as it is, you're saying, okay, our culture is taking hold. Proud of you guys. Don't worry about the score. Play the play. Play the next play.
McBride slings that one out. That is caught by Haydell.
McBride's pass complete to number 3, Jeremiah. Brought down by number 17, Matt Riddle.
Because if you're a player that plays according to the scoreboard, your performance is going to be up and down.
I think Texas State has the right guy in charge. I think they're going to improve, get better. They have good facilities. They're in a great recruiting area. That little screen play in some real traffic, but McBride found a way to get it to Hill, down to the 30 and maybe the 29.
And BYU is getting a lot of their backups on defense out there to get them some work, which is the right thing to do.
That's a good football name, isn't it? If you're playing in the state of Texas, Calvin Hill.
Yeah, you might get some free meals with that name, right?
No relation, but that's a good football name. Play fake to Hill, and that's the tight end, Jackson Lanham, fighting his way forward. He gets down inside the 20. Another Texas State first down.
That's one of those names where even though you're not related, we have a player down.
Yeah, maybe there's some instances where you might not, you know, if somebody asks, maybe you don't. Yeah, sure.
He said, no, thanks for the meal. No, I am Calvin Hill, Jr.
So hopefully Jackson Lanham's okay. We'll step aside just briefly, come right back to Provo after this.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance.
Well, hopefully everybody stays safe. Halloween week is upon us. 49-7 BYU with another impressive performance. I know the schedule strength has not been off the charts, but BYU's making an argument to be among the big boys in college football. Jackson Lanham did get up and make his way to the Texas State sideline, so that's good news. Clearly banged up. Bobcats have the ball inside the 21st and 10. Haven't scored since their first drive of the game, and Calvin Hill gets wrestled down from behind, lost a half a yard.
You know, Slim, you mentioned the schedule. They're the top 10. You see Penn State lost today. There's a chance that BYU could move into the top 10. But keep in mind, Wisconsin is out there. Wisconsin might be that second Big Ten team that would get into the top 10 also based on their performance Friday night.
Yeah, Graham Mertz, their new quarterback, because of an injury, but a very highly regarded recruit from high school, was just awesome. He was almost perfect. That pass right there for a touchdown. Marcel Barbie and Texas State on the board for the first time since the opening minutes.
This is a great throw by McBride. Watch this dart that he has. He just hums this one in there. Just a slant over the middle. Nice job by Barbie. His second of the night. You know, they've got some real talent and skill at the wide receiver spot with Barbie and with Haydel and Shareed. And a quarterback who's getting better each week.
96-yard drive. It had been 49 minutes and 49 points by BYU since Texas State had scored. They're back on the board, 49-14. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Geico from Provo, Utah. 8:09 to go, 49-14. Texas State got the first 7 of the game, and they waited a long time to get their next touchdown, but Marcel Barbie has it. So the Bobcats back on the board. Now they'll kick it off to BYU. Even with a blowout in a strange year, some late night college football is fun on a Saturday night. Zach Wilson and his night finished on the field, but what a night it was. We talked about how it's a story that's been told now, but we thought we'd at least show you how far he went, to the lengths to which he went, literally, to get better during the shelter-in-place, stay-at-home order during the shutdown time. He lives around Provo. The drive to San Diego is 10 hours each way, 700 miles down I-15. You can almost literally just take one road from his house to John Beck's facility in Southern California, former BYU quarterback who's a very highly regarded quarterback coach. And Zach Wilson would do that like almost every weekend. Baylor Romney goes deep, no penalty flag, incomplete. I mean, like literally, Zach would leave on a Friday or a Thursday. He wants the penalty flag himself.
Now, this is a good job by the referee. He's like, you know what? Nothing. I'm not throwing a flag now. You're up 49-14. Yeah, there's contact, there's interference. Normally, this would be flagged and should be flagged. But you know what? Good on the ref.
Yeah, let us keep telling the story about the drive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 700 miles each way. And he would go down for a couple days, maybe 3, work out, get back in the car, drive home, and then maybe not every single weekend, but do it again. And he did it multiple times. And that's a kid who wants to be better.
Flem, you know what you just described is just crazy. That's just nuts. I mean, yeah, you're committed, but that's a lot of driving.
That's somebody
that's 20 hours in a weekend.
I mean, maybe he's got some podcasts that he really likes, or how do you spend 20 hours in the car just over and over and over again by yourself? I mean, it was COVID time. He can't bring a buddy. He's got to go by himself. He's got to stay safe. He did all that. Hand off here. Finau had a first down, then cut it back and got stopped.
You know, if you're trying to learn another language, that would work. You'd have some real time to work on those tapes.
That's a good idea. Some self-improvement. Put those tapes in. I don't know that that's what Zach did. It's 4th down.
Takes a lot of discipline to do that. Maybe a lot of folks could do it once, but to keep going back and doing it over and over, a 700-mile drive like that, no thanks.
That's a lot of desert to look at, too. open one, and they're faking the punt. Good grief. The fake punt up 49-14. Look at him go. He takes a big hit at the end of it. Ryan Rako showed some wheels.
Yeah, that's not cool.
I don't know about that one. 50 yards on
that's
the
not cool.
run.
You don't need to fake a punt. 6 minutes ago in the fourth quarter, up 49-14. And I would doubt that was called from the sideline. I think he just decided, you know what, I got something here, I'm going to do it. I can't believe that Kalani Sitake would call a fake punt in this situation.
That's BYU's longest run of the year. Just adds to the sort of craziness of it. Yeah, that, I don't know. Kalani doesn't look that happy. He looks like a guy who maybe saw his punter do something on his own.
He's not happy. You can tell he's got the hands on the hips, and no one is standing near him. You know, everybody's trying to get away from him because he did not want that. And now he's the one who's got to explain to Jake Spavital why it happened, and he's the one that's got to answer the questions from the media.
We did find out his punter can run. That's pretty impressive. Handoff, right side running. Finau stopped. Third down. There's Ryan, true freshman from around Spokane, Washington.
And you notice he went nowhere near his head coach. He's with his buddies.
You know, if you want to come up with an excuse for young Ryan, if you're the punter for BYU, you don't do a whole lot. They don't punt.
I needed a workout, coach. Well, the best excuse he has is I'm a freshman.
3rd and 4. Baylor Romney toward the end zone, incomplete.
Now, I think the right thing to do right now, if you're BYU, is quit trying to score. I mean, just turn it over on downs. Quit doing stuff. I mean, that's the punishment to the team. And you point to the punter and say, see, we couldn't do anything more because you guys don't know how to handle the situation.
But they're going to kick a field goal.
I get it. We need the work. We need the practice. I would stop it all.
Another guy who hasn't worked very much, but Jake Oldroyd's a good kicker. He's only tried 5 field goals this year. That's his 6th, and he stays perfect. Up and good. 52-14, BYU with the fourth quarter lead.
This feels like a playoff elimination game.
So that's Halloween night, and the Big Ten kicked off today, 8 games plus 1. That's how the Big Ten's doing it this year. Championship game, December 19th. The 2 teams will play in the championship game. Everybody else gets to play a 9th cross-division game. So 8 plus 1, the model for the Big Ten. Their season got off to a successful start, surprising start in a lot of corners today.
Yeah, Flem, we had a discussion the other day about whether the Big Ten could get 2 teams into the playoff. It was a topic on College Football Live. I would think the only way that is possible would be if someone other than Ohio State won the conference and a 1-loss Ohio State team had enough impressive wins and had the respect of the committee that they could get in as a second team as they did back in 2016.
Well, I will say this. Wisconsin looked really good. Michigan looked really good. So Ohio State may have it a little tougher than some people were thinking in the Big Ten. to just coast on through, including that championship game.
Yeah, I do worry when you look at other conferences, what will be the impact on Alabama for losing Jalen Waddle? That may not show up until you get to the postseason.
They have so many good players. I think it's very likely it won't show up for a while, but he is so good. It stinks that he's not going to play for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Well, he made that offense unique because it gave them 3 receivers that you really couldn't defend. It was really hard to defend Alabama with those 3. Now with Waddle out, I'm not sure it's the same.
Third and 7 for Texas State. There'll be better days ahead, I think, for Jake Spavital's team. This was set up to be a tough one for Texas State. That one's picked off. Interception, second one of the game for BYU.
Jared Capizzi comes up with the pick. You know, we're talking about Jake Spavital. He's really taking the long-term approach to what he's doing. He's getting his young players some time. He's getting his quarterback as many opportunities and reps as possible. This is the ball that McBride would like to have back. He knows that's a bad throw for him. He's throwing into a coverage where they've got 2 or 3 guys sitting back deep, waiting for a deep ball. And Capizzi was right there to take advantage.
Well, senior doesn't get to play a whole lot. Comes up with a highlight moment for him, an interception. 1st and 10 BYU. Final 3 minutes, just trying to finish out this game. And the ball off. That's Miles Davis. Well, our Chick-fil-A impact players, Rod, you identified number 5 at the start of the game. Dax Milne has been playing so well, and he had another nice evening for BYU.
Yeah, remember that he had to step up because Gunnar Romney did not play tonight, and he had a nice night. A couple big catches, TD, and he's got the job now of calling plays, flashing them in, right? Or is that formation?
To tell you what formation, maybe what signal to use. Then you got different signalers. Baylor Romney goes the wrong way and throws it incomplete. Clock stops, 3rd down. Well, look, I mean, I think wide load. Maybe that could describe. Plus, we got Mike Tyson's punch out over on the right. That's a good one. I like that one. Wide load.
I wonder.
Describe BYU
Wide load. I wonder
team.
if that's formation.
Yeah, they are a load as a team.
Well, they've got a wide load in there with the extra tight ends.
It'll be 4th down. Look, the point needs to be made, I think. Even though BYU scheduled very strongly this year, though so many of those games got wiped off the books, they're having to make up a schedule as they go. And the schedule's not nearly as strong as it would have been. But if you keep destroying teams the way that BYU is, it does tell you something. It's not like you don't get any info when you're playing lesser opponents if you play the way BYU is playing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's just that there is no sign that the committee is going to alter its standards at all this season. And the first thing they look at is how many wins did you have against top 25 teams? And that's going to be hard on this schedule.
And you're right. That is a different discussion. And BYU is, that may not be able to be overcome. But in terms of, is this a good football team? I think undeniably it's a really good team. So this is how the schedule was supposed to lay out for BYU. There goes that one, that one, that one. Army got put on there late, then that got postponed. Whoop, whoop, nope, nope. And basically all the games that were highlight games for BYU were erased. And they've done a pretty good job, I think. Boise State, a late ad. San Diego State now in December. Those 2 teams both look good tonight getting their seasons started. So there's a chance for BYU for a couple what would be important wins.
Now, there is no question, if you see another stop by BYU, that BYU is a really, really good football team. If you've watched them, there isn't any question about that. The question just really becomes what changes can you have in this crazy year? And I've felt strongly that in this year of the pandemic, there should be a 6-team playoff instead of a 4-team playoff. And that would give BYU a much better chance. And, you know, it would give the Big Ten and the Pac-12 a better chance because their number of games are going to be significantly reduced compared to the ACC and the SEC.
Final minute here tonight, Texas State. Calvin Hill, nice run. When we are finished, coming up very shortly on SportsCenter. Lots to talk about, including the day in college football. There are lots of stuff going on. The World Series Game 4, which was an incredible game and just a totally wacky ending. UFC stuff as well. So all coming up when we're done on SportsCenter. Just seconds away now.
With all the things that happened in college football today, to me the most significant thing was Jalen Waddle's injury.
Yeah. No good. You never want an injury to be the headliner, but you may be right. Today that might be. All right, final seconds from Provo. Another impressive performance all the way around from BYU, number 12 ranked Cougars, with a 52-14 win as the final seconds tick off the clock. Kalani Sitake's got a good team. He and Jake Spavital will have some words at the end of that game.
He's telling him the fake punt wasn't called.
Well, SportsCenter's
right,
coming
friend.
up in 15 seconds. We are finished from Provo, Utah, where BYU has another impressive win. For Rod Gilmore, for Stormy Bonatoni. For a 52-14.